Buttertubs Marsh in Nanaimo on Vancouver Island. This is like a little hollow, little shallow saucer right in the city of Nanaimo. And the water from the surrounding area drains down into this area here and creates this marsh that's just down behind us here. So one of the things I'm doing when I'm walking along here, I was looking for those signs of animals that are around. So I'm listening all the time, just trying to hear sounds, anything I can hear, birds off in the distance. I'm checking the horizon, looking for birds or anything that might be perched there. I can hear up here, I can hear a young bird chirping. And you're just trying to be alert, picking up these things. And it takes a bit of practice. After a while, I have people who come out and they say, you know, I didn't even hear this. I didn't even know it was there. I had no idea. There's a Buick's wren just back here, just chirping away. And you may not know the names, but you start to listen to these things and start to hear the sounds. It's the sounds of nature as well as actually seeing them. It's all part of it. It's all those experiences, the smells, the sounds. It's all part of enjoying nature. These are interesting little things. This is a snow brush. And this is a little brush that you can see how well it's doing. It's a native plant, and these are the seeds. It's not a tasty fruit at all, but it's a very unusual one, the white one. And you'll see this in gardens. A lot of people are planting these now in the gardens, starting to plant native plants rather than some of the introduced or some of the garden varieties, because they do better. This is where they grow. This is where they live. And so, you know, why not have our own plants in our own backyard? So there's maybe about 90 species of ants in British Columbia, and we don't really know very much about them. We know that ants are really important from studies in other parts of the world, but there hasn't been a real lot of work done right here in British Columbia. Wow, look at it, just keeps going. All the way along here. They're still here. So this is a long haul. You think with a nest back there, and they're still coming along here in big numbers. This is a chicken. And, oh, there we are. There's the nest. That's a big one. Look at the size of that. Look at them all just working this over. This is a good sized one. Wow. Oh, look at the moth there. Oh, the moth landed. Oh, the ants are going to take it. Look at this. Look at this. This is a fight to the death. Is he going to get away? I think the ants have it. A little bit of life and death right before our eyes. Fantastic. Yeah, love it. Okay, what I want to show you is the marsh, because there could be some birds out there, probably wood ducks or maybe some grebes or something like that. Because this is the only place, of course, where there's some water around where they can nest. So for them, this is really important. In fact, right there, there's a pied-billed grebe right here, right here, right here. Is it? Oh, just a minute. No, it's not a pied-bill. It's a young wood duck. There's a little family. There's the mother too. The mother's out there, and two young ones at least, right there. The wood duck is a species that nests in holes in trees. So this is a very important place. This is for the painted turtle, which is a very, very rare species now. And they, of course, live in the lake, but they need a place to lay their eggs, and that has to be out of the water. So this area here, which is all covered in sand, is set aside specially for them. You can see the sign is up here telling people about that. And what the turtle will do, will come up here and dig with its hind feet a little hole and lay the eggs in it, cover it up, and then the heat of the sun will incubate the eggs, and eventually the little turtles will hatch out and then go back to the water. So it's important to have these. If you don't have these places for them, it's difficult for them to continue to live in a place like this. So that's really important. You know, here we are, this little marsh. It's protecting a very, very rare species. And these are the kind of things that once you know this from the science that you need to provide these things, then you know we can go ahead and protect them. So this is a very warm body of water. It's growing these lily pads, and there are frogs all over them. And there'll be lots of insects, because where there's frogs, they have to have something to eat, and they will eat some of the insects. I've seen dragonflies buzzing around. So the dragonflies are feeding on mosquitoes and other flying insects. And then they will become food for things like purple martins, which is really important. So this area, even though it's a little wetland here, starts to feed things that are, in the neighborhood, like bears and some of the others, but also all the migrants that come through. You know, all these migratory birds that fly through here, they come into these places. They're drawn into them. It's like a magnet for them, and they feed on all these insects. So these insects might actually fuel a flight for a songbird for another few hundred kilometers. So it's all contributing to this big sort of connection of life. And having the Nature Trust putting something like this aside is so important. You know, when you do it the first time, when you protect something like this for the first time, you think, you know, that was a really great thing to do. But gradually over time, they seem to become more valuable, because as there's more and more people, more and more encroachment, you realize that this is really the last little remnant in your neighborhood. And so they increase in value for nature and a place to get away. They're very therapeutic. We love them.